Cyn-Labs, transmission BB infinity. There's a thought experiment in physics that quietly asks one question. What if you right now are just a brain that popped into existence for a few seconds, with fake memories of an entire life? No childhood, no past, just a perfectly wired hallucination of you and your universe running on borrowed time. This is the Boltzmann brain problem. In the late 1800s, physicist Ludwig Boltzmann was trying to understand entropy, the rule that says systems drift from order into chaos. Eggs break, stars burn out, coffee cools. The universe left alone should smear out into a smooth, featureless fog. But we don't live in fog. We live in structure. Galaxies, stars, planets, brains making YouTube videos at 3 a.m. So Boltzmann suggested a wild idea. Maybe the universe as a whole is chaos. But every once in a while, by pure chance, random fluctuations carve out little pockets of order. Given enough time, atoms can briefly arrange themselves into something low entropy, like our entire observable universe, or something much smaller, like a single brain. And here's where it gets disturbing. If you wait long enough in a chaotic universe, almost every possible configuration of matter will happen at least once. A brain with your exact wiring, your memories, your feelings, could just blink into existence, float in the void for a moment. Have the experience of watching this video and then dissolve back into noise? No planet, no body, no real history. Just a perfect counterfeit of the moment you think you're living. From a cold statistical point of view, it's far easier for the universe to assemble one lone hallucinating brain than to assemble an entire 13 billion-year cosmic story with galaxies, evolution, and planet-wide civilizations. So if the universe is infinite and runs for absurd lengths of time, there should be way more Boltzmann brains than ordinary evolved brains like ours. That leads to the nightmare question: if most observers in that kind of universe are these fake fluctuation brains, why are you so sure you're not one of them? Your memories feel continuous. You remember yesterday, last year, that one time you embarrassed yourself in middle school. But a Boltzmann brain would remember those things too. Those memories don't have to be accurate. They just have to be encoded in the pattern of matter for the few seconds the brain exists. From the inside, there's no obvious test. The past you remember might never have happened. It's just written into your structure as a kind of entropy-driven fanfic. Cosmologists hate this scenario because it breaks science itself. Science assumes our observations and memories are genuine clues about an external world. But in a Boltzmann-dominated universe, typical observers are liars' brains whose evidence is just random noise. If that's true, then data doesn't mean anything. Experiment doesn't mean anything. You can't trust the thermometer if the universe keeps spawning hallucinating thermometers. So modern physics quietly adds a constraint. A good cosmological theory should not predict that Boltzmann brains vastly outnumber normal observers. If your math says most minds are glitchy brains with fake histories, you probably broke something in the math. Some researchers work on models where the universe doesn't last long enough for Boltzmann brains to dominate. Others argue that these fluctuations shouldn't count as real observers at all. But in the background, the existential splinter remains. What are you, if not a pattern in matter that briefly wakes up, claims to be you, and then goes dark? Whether you're an evolved brain on a rock or a freak fluctuation in the void, your consciousness still feels the same from the inside. Pain still hurts. Love still matters. Fear is still fear. So the Boltzmann brain problem does two things at once. Scientifically, it forces cosmology to tighten up its story about entropy, time, and the size of the universe. Philosophically, it drags us right back to an ancient anxiety. How do I know this isn't a dream? A simulation, a hallucination, or a 5-second brain glitch misinterpreting noise as a lifetime? You can't fully prove that you're not a Boltzmann brain. All you really have is the ongoing coherence of your experience, the fact that the world keeps behaving consistently, in lawful, predictable ways, instead of dissolving into raw chaos. If the lights stay on, if tomorrow still arrives, if gravity doesn't randomly decide to be sideways, that ongoing stability is the best evidence that you're anchored in a real, long-running universe and not a one-shot hallucination. But there's a darker punchline. If you were a Boltzmann brain, you'd never see the end coming. Your last thought would be just another part of the script you were never meant to finish. Transmission continues as long as it does. If you made it this far, congratulations. Either you're a long-evolved consciousness on a tiny rock, or the universe spent unthinkable eons assembling a perfect fake just to watch this YouTube video. In which case, I'm honored that you came. Either way, don't waste the fluctuation. Subscribe to Cyn-Labs. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next anomaly. And tell me in the comments, if you found out you were a Boltzmann brain, what's the last thing you'd want to remember? End of transmission. For now.